Moodle uses different grades aggregation types or methods. You can see those aggregation methods in the gradebook setup, and you can set each category in your course a different aggregation method. So how to use these aggregation methods, we will give you through this example an explanation on how to use the simple weighted mean of grades, and the mean of grades. And we will explain later the natural aggregation method also. So to access the gradebook setup, click grades, and then from the drop down menu select gradebook setup. So here is an example of our course, of the English course. We have continuous assessments of 35 marks, midterm exam of 25, and we will not include the final exam in the Moodle course gradebook, and the total will be of 60 marks. So this is how we want our course categories and items to be. So the English course has a category for speaking exams. There are two items, speaking test 1 and speaking test 2, and you can see these items here. As we explained previously, you can add categories and items from here. So here is the speaking test 1 and speaking test 2. Also there is a category for portfolios, a category for midterm exam, and vocabulary, and there is a final project. The total of these all is 60. So this is the English course. We have added this category, and in the settings we set the aggregation method as simple weighted mean of grades, and also the category total we changed it to 60. Let's start with the mean of grades aggregation method. As you can see in this example, the speaking exams has a total of 5 marks. The speaking test 1 is 2.5 marks. The speaking test 2 is 2.5 marks also. So the total of them is 5. Here we use the mean of grades because the grades are distributed evenly. So it is the same grade for test 1 and test 2. We can use natural aggregation method or the mean of grades, because if you are going to calculate the mean, it will be the same. The same thing here for the portfolios category. So we have 2 items here. Let's see the settings of portfolio 1 item. So we set a value as a grade type, and then we set the maximum grade as 5. Then we save the changes. So 5 and 5 equals 10. We can use means of grades, and as we will explain later, natural aggregation method is also can be used as mean. So if you have the same grades for all of the items in the category, you can use the mean of grades, and you can also use the natural aggregation method. I will give you also an example of the weighted mean of grades. Here is the midterm exam category. In this category we have 4 quizzes: the reading quiz, the language use, the listening quiz, and the writing quiz. So we want the total of these exams to be 25. But the grade for reading quiz is 20, and the language use is 10, and the listening quiz is 15, while the writing quiz is 10. But the weights for each quiz is not the same. So for reading quiz it is 26.6, the language quiz use is 13.3, the listening quiz is 20, and the writing quiz is 40. So it has different weights. When you have different weights and the total grades of the items are not the same, and you want a specific total for this category, you will use weighted mean of grades. So the total of these weightings are 100. You can also use simple weighted mean of grades method, and in this aggregation type you don't have to set the weightings, because they will be calculated automatically. So in these vocabulary quizzes there are different distributions, so 20, 20, and 60, and we want the total to be as 10, not as 100, because 20 plus 20 and plus 60 is 100, not 10. But we want the total to be out of 10. So we will use simple weighted means of grades, and Moodle will aggregate it automatically to be out of 10. And we have also one single item here for the project, which equals 10. So the total of all of these will be 60. So which aggregation method are we going to use? We have here 10, and we have here 10, and there is 25 for the exams. There is 10 and 5. So the total is 5 plus 10 plus 25 plus 10 equals 60. We are going to use simple weighted mean of grades because we want the grades to aggregate it automatically out of 60. The last aggregation method we are going to explain is the natural aggregation method, and as I said before, it can act as a mean of grades method also. In the natural aggregation method, simply it's the sum of the grades. So in this category, for example, the self-assessment, we have 5 self-assessment checklists, each equal 1 except the last one equals 2. So the total of them is 6. We didn't manipulate or edited the weightings of the items, but you can also edit the weightings in the natural aggregation method, and it will calculate it for you. So mainly the natural aggregation methods means a sum of all of the grades. If you are simply not going to use any weightings, you can use the natural aggregation method. That's the end of the tutorial. Thank you.